Hey guys, Bill here. Welcome back. Well, we are on part 3 of the camper build. Part 1 and 2, part 1, we did all the framing. We actually stripped the old one down, figured out what we needed to do to make it, shorter in height and length and narrower width. Part 2, we pretty much finished the interior, we did the panels on the interior and we got those coated, got the bottom of it as waterproof as we can. Well, if you didn't see those, you might want to go back and watch them because, if you're interested in this camper at all. Anyway, this one here, we're going to finish it up, minus the back doors. The back doors will be a video to itself, so we'll have one more video after this one. But this one's going to be a long one. We got a lot to do. Got the windows to do, roof has to go on it. We'll get all the lights hooked up. Anyway, I guess I need to just quit talking about it and do it. So here we go. This is where I have to start. Normally I would have started at the very top piece, but the top piece is 2 inches taller, and this is already cut for the window opening. So this is the one I have to start with. So what I'll do, I got it clamped up there. Well, you'll see, I'll take the top piece, I'll put it on here, and then I'll go around with a Sharpie and mark where I got to cut it. All the way around. You'll see what I'm talking about. And, well, let's go over to the other side. I've already done the other side. I went ahead and started on that, and I got it done off camera. But, there. And we're going to just duplicate this on the other side. Finished up my wiring. My wiring's all tucked in here, and it's coming out right there. There's a little pigtail right there. I'll probably just clamp it right here, just nice and tight in there, and I'll plug into the truck. This is the top piece. So what I need to do, I need to try to slide that in. Just try to work it into the, which is easier said than done. Okay. All right, so I slid that in there. And down here, where my old clearance light is, you can see the original factory cut it for the clearance light right here. That's not going to work. So, but there's enough overhang here to where I should be able to slide this and get into the good metal here. See, that's going to give me the good metal right there. Down here. Tuck that up in there just like that. Make sure my window opening is where it needs to be. Make sure this is flush here with the window opening. And we're good there. This is all the way down in there. So I can just, now, I'll just go on the back side of it with a Sharpie and hold it up tight and mark it all the way around. That's what I will do. Need a couple more clamps here. All right, so we should be good right there. Okay, just take a Sharpie. I'll hold this back side of it, hold it up tight, and go all the way around it, mark it. I'll get these two cut, get these tacked on, then I'll come back with my bottom pieces and do those. You see right here where I marked it. So, and what I'll do, just for the rough cut, you see I actually had this line here. I had it up on there and it was in the wrong spot and I marked it, but it's actually this line right here. Oh, actually it's this line. Yeah, right here. I better cross that out. But what I'll do is when I cut it, I'm going to cut it out about an inch. That way I can get it up there and get it stapled on there, and then I'll just go around and flush cut it off. So I've just cut it out here just to get it in the ballpark. I probably should have gloves for this. And I do have gloves, and I'll all right, I need to get this over on the table. I trimmed this top piece down and put it back in, and you can see on the back side where I marked it all the way down. This piece here, I haven't trimmed it yet. I'll wait, take this off. What I want to do now is I'll put a couple staples in this one here to hold it. That way I can take this bottom piece off, because we need a row of staples underneath this lip right here. So what I'll just, like I said, I'll put a couple staples in. Just got staple gun, and I'm using they're 18 gauge 1-inch narrow crown staples, and they look like this right here, and that's real close to what was in it originally. I think I'll put my first one right in the middle, like right in here, but I can't go too far down. I have to keep it within an inch of the edge. So what I'm going to do, figure out where I'm at here. On this one here, and I'll only have to do this on the first one. So I'm an inch and, looks like 1.25 inches down. So I'll bring that down to 1.5 inches and put a staple right there. Okay? And I'll just do several of them all the way across. Then I can pull this piece off and go under a row of staples across here. We need to put a row of staples under here, just like so. Okay, we'll get that done and then I'll bring you back. All right guys, I got a row of staples all the way around the whole thing, so it's on there pretty good. Now I'm just going to take some tin snips and I'll lay this blade right here just flush against the inside. And I'll start cutting it. Work my way around the corner. And see, I like I said, I've got a little bit of a, and then when I get this all cut off, I'll just work it around the corner. And then what I'm going to do, once this is all cut off and it's all flush cut, I'm going to lay just to give it a little added protection, I will lay some Eternabond tape over this before I put the roof on it. And then when I put the roof on it, you know, it'll be that the roof is ½ inch wide or an inch wide or ½ inch on each side, and that'll be folded over. Then I'll do the trim with butyl tape. That's actually more than what the factory did, just doing the Eternabond tape on it. Hopefully I'll never have to worry about leak. All right, so I'm going to shut you off. I got to get that fan turned back on. I have to turn the fan off when I'm recording because it just makes way too much noise. Get some air moving around in here and I'll get the rest of this cut off. Okay, I'll start right here in the middle, start putting staples all the way around. All right, so this piece is on. Just I'll trim this flush, and then do my next piece. That brown piece will go in here, then a bottom piece. So side is done. I went ahead and drilled my holes for my clearance lights. I'll put grommets in those. All right, so I have a cap that goes over that back part. I'm going to have to cut it down because I narrowed the box. I'll have to figure out how to do this. I have a little, I don't know if you can see that, a little split right there. I'm probably going to just epoxy that. It looks like, and just seal it from the back side. It looks like the door trim will cover that. And there's one on this side too. There's a stress crack. I'll clean that up and epoxy that. Put some WD, or not WD, but JB Weld or something on it. But let's just set this on here. So here's the difference right here. So what I need to do, the way this was done, it was kind of folded. I need to cut right here, cut that over, cut this lip off right here that folds over where it was folded over before, and that'll give me my 1/2 inch. And then we'll measure over. I'll figure out how wide that is. I think that's 1.5 inches. And we'll come over here 1.5 inches. This will actually fold up and cover this, and then the top cap will basically cap it. All right guys, I'm back. It's actually the next day. I got this back panel all put on. It's all stapled and it's good to go. I cut 2 inches out of the width, 1 inch out of the width. That's right, 1 inch. I cut the lip off of it, stapled it up here, and I took a hammer and dolly and I bent it around the sides here and stapled it. So that's good. My gutter's gonna go over that, and it's gonna be like that right there. So I got insulation in the top of it, foam board. I came up short. One sheet wasn't enough, so I ended up having to switch to the white. That's all I could get locally, so it'll be fine. Eternabond, I went around all the edges here. And just to give it a little added protection. Hopefully that'll help it from leaking. All right guys, I got the top set on it. So because I cut this down, shortened it 2 inches height-wise, that threw my window off. So I thought, well, okay, what I'll do is I'll just line up my window here with the opening, and then I'll pull the top back and just re-bend it, recurve it. Well, that's not going to work for me because I think this metal is already bent to this curvature, and I just don't see an easy way to re-bend it. You have to remember, this metal is probably 50 years old at least, and it's been set in a certain way all these years, you know. And I thought, well, I'll just cut the back of it off here, which that's all good. I mean, yeah, that's not a problem. But this here is creating a problem for me, because if I pull that up, it just doesn't want to bend. I can get one side pulled down and the other side comes back up. And another thing too, the bottom down here, this is all beat up and it's in bad shape. There's some rust in the bottom of it there. I'm not liking it. So I thought, what am I going to do here? I'll show you what I'm going to do. This is not ideal, but it'll work and it'll be fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, get it back up here where it lays natural, just like that. Get it lined up. And see, now we're at that natural curve, which has my window farther down in the sheet metal. So it has this farther down, which that's okay. So what I'm going to do, we'll go ahead and get this centered side to side. We'll line it up with the opening here. Now we've got this here down from where it's supposed to be, my 2 inches. And see, that's laying in there nice now. That's where we're going to put it. So what I'm going to do to address this part here, I can just staple it in there and then just cut the inside out. What I'm going to do to address this is I'm going to go back here. You know, I've got, what, 20 inches here or thereabouts that I can cut off of this. I'm going to cut this off And I'll have this whole piece right here, and I'll bring it up here. I'm going to cut this, oh, right about there somewhere. I'll have to figure out where I want to put it, where I really need to cut it. And it'll overlap here, and and the other piece I will tuck up under here, up to about here. It'll be plenty long enough where I can roll it under, and then I'll go in here and I'll cut the window opening in that piece. So basically I'll have somewhat of a seam, but I think that's going to give me the best job. I wasn't happy with trying to bend this because I could have bent the outside of it, but on the inside here, there's nothing really supporting it in here. I don't think it would have been right. I'll just stick with the natural bend, or you know, what was there originally. I got the bottom of this cut out. I got the rear panel cut off right there. So I need to cut the top of this window out. You see where I marked my line. I'll probably go, I'll cut inside the line, just kind of sneak up on it. I don't want to cut too far. We'll get that cut out. Then we will slide the other panel up under it. So this panel here will slide. It will slide up under here. And I'll just line up my ridges, basically. Then we'll staple that down and cut it out. So there you can see kind of what I'm talking about. So I slid this way up under here, so there's really almost zero chances of water getting up in there. What I'll do now, I'll probably go inside and mark it, and we'll cut that out. I got to get it centered where it needs to be. All right guys, got this bottom piece fitted, window cut out. I rolled this down here under. I figured out where I needed to bend it, and I put it between a couple of boards and rolled it over. So I think it's actually looking pretty good. So now I guess I can just start putting some staples in it and trim up this side here where it needs to be trimmed, this excess, and roll that side over and staple it. So now I just need to trim off. See this edge right here? I need to have a 1/2 inch reveal so I can fold that over a 1/2 inch, or fold that over. And this is at least 1 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my 2x4 out and get my line and just run my cutoff wheel right down through there. We're working on it. We're getting it. All right, guys, let me show you what I'm doing here. So this is the old piece that right here, the old flange that folded over, and it's too much. So I've still got 1/2 inch under here. So I'm going to take my cutoff wheel, and I'm just going to go right down through here and cut this lip off, this piece here. Then I will slide the 2x4 over even with the side of the camper, and then I'll clamp it down again. Then I'll start folding it over the sides here. So we got our little lip here. So it's right around a 1/2 inch. So just take a body hammer. Probably any kind of hammer would work. Just work it down. You know, you need something to clamp this down tight, because otherwise it's just going to be flexing on you. This is holding it solid to keep it from flexing. And that's all there is to it. Just kind of just work it down. You know, you don't have to be real aggressive with it. You don't have to hit it hard. It's just aluminum. And what I'll do is I'll leave the 2x4 on there, and then I'll staple it before I take this off, take the clamping off of it. That way when I take the clamps off, it's gonna be good to go. All right guys, got all the windows in it. It's pretty straightforward. Just put your butyl tape on the up here, set your windows in, just go around and start putting screws in it. Done both sides. There's a strip that goes across the bottom here. Got that put on. So now we're gonna start working on this edge, and this is the piece right here. I've already cleaned this piece up and kind of tried to straighten it out. And right here, it was cut, and they bent it around the corner here. Now, because remember this shell was 20 inches longer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, since it's already bent for the curvature here, I'm going to go ahead and work off of this spot right here. And I'll cut the length off down here where it needs to be cut off. And what I will do when I get back here, I'll just cut the drip rail wherever it needs to be cut. I'll just put a little slice in it here, and I'll go around that corner. Unless I can bend it, I can just bend it, I don't know. And then this will just be on the flat spot, and what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and run it across, and then I'll just have that spot there in it, which at the end of the day is probably not a big deal. If I'm really worried about it, maybe I'll put a little JB weld on it or something. This side, like I said, this one's cleaned up. I still got to clean the other one up out there. It's outside. Looked like they hit a few tree branches with them or something, and they were kind of smashed in a couple of spots, and I straightened them out the best I could. They're not perfect by any means, but they're usable. Look at this shell, you know, it's not perfect either. So it all goes hand in hand. All right guys, just real quick here, in case you were wondering how I clean this rail up, just a little bit of elbow grease, not a lot. So what I use is just WD-40 and Scotch-Brite pad. So, and it's a pretty fine Scotch-Brite. So I'll do a little quick piece here. Just spray a little WD-40 on it. And there might be easier ways, but this works. And it's not going to get it perfect, but it's going to make it look a lot better. And I just wipe it off. You see the difference. Actually has a little bit of a shine to it. Not a whole lot, but that's all there is to it. I'm doing all my aluminum that way, so all my aluminum trim. I did the windows, everything. So, alrighty then, I will finish with this. So I got my trim piece put on. Around. So turned out, I'm pretty happy with it. Got my lights put on, and they're working. Actually, we will let's turn the lights off and so I put LEDs, all the LED flash lights. So I think we're good here. Alrighty then. All right, so pretty much I'm getting real close. I still got to put I've got some trim that goes around this edge here. I still got to clean that up and put it on, but that's just a matter of nailing it, tacking it on there. And trim out the inside of the windows. I've got that trim. Just got to clean it up and put it on. I got a new seal coming for the body for the bed to a camper seal coming today. Oh, and these guys still got to be put on. These, there's another one of these, but it runs right down through here. That's just real simple. Yeah, I'm probably going to be ready to put this thing on the truck next time you see it. I'm just waiting for Amazon to show up with my seal. We'll be good to go. So I think I'm ready for a beer. Unfortunately, I'm out of beer. I had a couple in there from my son-in-law was here last summer or a while back, and he left some. I guess that's what I'm gonna drink today. It is the, what is that? Hell, I don't know. Indian Pale Ale. It's brewed in Seattle, apparently. So it's not Coors Light, which is my go-to beer because I'm a redneck and that's what I like. But it's what I got. This is what I got. So it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm pretty simple when it comes to beer. So, but anyway, next time you see this camper, it'll be on the truck. And it'll be the next segment here. So that's probably going to be tomorrow or the next day, but for you, it's probably going to be like 2 seconds. So, well, maybe, I don't know. We'll see, but we're getting real close. So, till then. Alright guys, there it is. Got it on the truck. Got all the trim put on it. Lights are working. It fits the truck pretty good. It's I'm pretty happy with it. But I think it's gonna do exactly what I want it to do. Haven't done the doors yet. That'll be my next video. But got this piece here. Haven't got these brackets put on yet. That's what mounts the doors. But as you can see, I got the windows trimmed out. I picked up some clamps actually at a yard sale. They were in a free pile, so I lucked out on those because I was going to drill a hole in here, but now I don't have to do that. But oh, and this window here, that's plexiglass. Somebody put plexiglass in there, so I'm going to have to find me a piece of tempered glass and replace that. Got my light up there and it's working. I put an LED in there, so that should be enough. Yeah, it's going to serve its purpose. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll have to redo the screens. I have the other screen for the other side. So I guess that concludes, what is this, part 3? It's pretty much, it's been a fun project. It's been a fair amount of work. Well, it's been a lot of, I've never done anything like this before, so it's been a bit of I screwed up a few places, but at the end of the day, I got the same results. So I'm happy about that. Not bottles today. Well, next time when we come back, I'll be tackling the doors, and that'll be a video by itself, because the doors have to come completely apart. I got to cut them. I believe it was 2 inches. Got to take 2 inches out of them. So that's going to be interesting. But for now, I need to get my shop back in order. It's a mess. But as you can see, I got a fair amount of headroom. I mean, sitting in my chair. So, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to be all scrunched up when I'm in here, you know. Yeah, we might take this thing and do some camping with it. Some overnighters or something. I'll definitely bring you along. I have a bunch of, I think I've mentioned this, you know, I have some vintage camping gear, some camp stoves, and in fact I've done a couple of videos on them, and the old lanterns, and you know, so like I said, we might just do some overnighters. I'm not going to go camping for a week or anything in it, but might be fun to find a little spot somewhere next to a river or a lake, back up to it, maybe do a little fishing. So, yeah, it's just a thought. But, yeah. So probably, I know I've mentioned this before about the truck. I'm probably going to, once this is done completely, that transmission's going in, that overdrive transmission. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I might do a whole playlist if I can figure out how to do it of just the camper. Till next time, you guys take care, and like I said, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and by all means, leave some comments, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, of course. I could definitely use the subscriptions. So, anyway, till next time, cheers. You guys take care.